Hello.
Hello.
Good morning, Danny.
Good morning.
Welcome to No More School Time.
Oh my God.
They're home.
Summer has begun for real.
They're home and they're on a free day today. Would you like to tell our listeners what a free day is?
Oh my God. So, we try to limit electronics, but
Oh, you got something on your left eye that's going to bother you? Like if we
Yeah.
leave it there? No, it's still there. No, not that eye. You can do
This
it.
is fun.
You can do it.
This is so fun.
You can do it. It's almost
Oh,
gone.
is it on my
Okay.
eyelash? You didn't
Yeah.
say eyelash. You said eye.
I said eye.
I was just like,
I mean, that was the right move.
Oh my
Just
God.
a big swipe. But you know those friends that let you have the thing in your teeth the whole time? I'm not
Oh,
that friend.
God.
I'm not. I will never be that friend.
I appreciate that. Thank
Yes.
you for being married to me.
I love you. And
Okay,
obviously,
so
okay.
free day.
Free day.
Squirrel.
Bring it back. I was going on another tangent. You knew it. I was like, wow.
Yep. So
What's a free day?
The kids get to choose when they have electronics all day long.
And it starts at 7 a.m. And what time did Taylor go running out of his room?
6:59.
He was like,
Like literally 6:59. He didn't even say good morning. I said good morning. Nothing. Straight for the garage. I mean game room.
all you can hear is like douche, 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 douche. And he maybe went to the bathroom before. Like no, he didn't. He's so excited.
I was in the bathroom, so he
He did
definitely
not.
did not. Maybe he went earlier.
Okay, I'm
Just
glad,
totally
we're
possible.
working that out.
This is very important to discuss.
So then they get to have electronics, like free day, whatever they want, because normally we restrict it to after 1 o'clock, or like,
For a
and then,
couple hours.
or after school. Like when they have school, they obviously have to wait until after school, and even when after school time, they only get it for a couple hours, and they have to like do other stuff like reading, and life is a balance, right?
Balance.
But the free day is like the greatest day, especially for Taylor, because he gets to do whatever he wants to do. So he's on Fortnite at 7 a.m. And the greatest thing was that someone else was on Fortnite.
Chris!
Starts yelling,
Chris! Ready up!
ready up, edit the wall.
Chris, save me! Edit the wall!
What is
Edit
that?
the wall!
What does that even
Edit the
mean?
wall! It was like over and over.
Yep. And then so Evelyn kind of so Taylor earns the free days by following instructions, doing all the things he's supposed to do for
Having
school.
something to look forward to and for us to kind of
Build
use.
towards, like leverage. And then Evelyn kind of gets the free day because Taylor gets the free day, because like she doesn't even really want the free day. Like that's the
No.
best part about her
She's
is that
bored.
she just kind of she'll watch so she watches YouTube. Right now she's watching two dudes play Minecraft that are like 16. And she's like, Mommy, they're about to fall in the lava. I'm like, okay. But she'll watch for a while, but then she'll get bored.
It's so bored.
Yeah, so I
And
like that.
He'll take breaks too. Like
Yeah.
they all take breaks.
Yeah, he knows how to go outside and touch grass, as they say.
Can't.
I'm just like, I like the Gen Alpha because it's basically like, it's so obvious what it means. Like, everyone's like, oh, they speak this different language. I'm like, no, just like, it's literally the closest thing. So, like, Riz is charisma. Like, well, like, there's other words like yacht that you have to, like, really think about. And that means a big butt. And so-
Ballerina cappuccino?
yeah, exactly. Well, and then there's words that mean nothing. But then they're called Italian brain rot. And I'm also like, who decided that?
I don't know.
Who made that up?
Who does make these things up? Who makes up these memes and all of a sudden puts it all around the world?
And then they watch them on YouTube and it goes back around and around and around. Yeah, so that's the free day. That's what's happening right now. So if people hear yelling, if you hear Chris, you know why. So welcome.
Why would we close the game room door? I don't know.
No, we need to make sure that they're still in there and
They're
still
in there.
doing stuff.
It's like it's so quiet when you close that door.
Oh my God, I know. Yeah, I thought about it when there was a play date happening yesterday. That was a
Oh, I
little
did.
out of control.
And then they opened it back up. And then they were like knocking on it.
Then they're like zombies, like, let us out. Yeah, that was like a play date gone wild yesterday.
Oh my God, they were so messy.
I found a blow pop wrapper in the shower
Why?
this morning. I don't
Like,
know
why?
But I'm like mean little kids.
I know that it wasn't our kids.
I know. I feel like there was like some kid that was like, well, that's where that goes.
Totally threw it over.
Yeah, totally. After you broke the window in the bathroom a little bit.
Fixed
yeah.
it. It was fixable.
Like we're the house, which I love. that we're the house where you come over and you play. And this is like a small house with like lots, like it's all set up like that. Not much is going to break. And even if it does, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah,
and
we don't have anything of value.
we have nothing of value, so come play at our
On
house.
purpose for that reason, because
Yeah.
you know it's gonna happen and things just break. And I'm like, I don't want anything nice anymore.
Like you were like, someday we'll have a real coffee table. I'm like, is this not a real coffee table? And then I'm like, oh, it's like a fake like marble round
No,
coffee table that
'cause
was like off of the internet.
After all the like Pottery Barn
Yeah.
and Restoration Hardware
No,
stuff that we
not
used to
anymore.
get, I'm like, no.
Well, no, because then Evelyn's like, let me draw on my
Oh my
markers, my right here, and then this table is like a
Oh my
mess. Don't
God.
even look at this.
There's like paint on there. There's like dents and scratch. I'm like,
So now we just
do
live with
whatever
it.
you want.
Now it's just part of it. It's part of the art
No,
of
it
this
is part
house.
of the art, and then I will sand it down one day and just start over.
Well, I saw this clip. I read this article, I think, one time, and I shared it with you that like your house can be just a canvas for your children. Like you can just think of it that way. And so I feel like we embrace that like a lot. Like we've done that to the max, where like it's like the kids just kind of like bleh, all over the house, and we just accept it and move on.
Not to mention we can do it as well.
Well, yeah, that's
for
true.
Fun. Like I can renovate it, and if I mess up, I'm like, oh well,
Yeah. Oh.
I tried.
And we have a running joke that anything you do to this house is better than what it was before.
God,
so
it's like
like,
that.
even if you
It's
even if you
good.
mess up, it's better.
Oh my God, and I think about like, so we bought this house to renovate it, to kind of go through the process and just like learn.
Yeah.
Learn what is it like to actually like really renovate and like gut a kitchen and a bathroom hardcore and like what's it like? How hard is it? And we learned.
Yeah, and the answer
We learned not to ever do it again.
the answer is it's really effing hard. And you don't want to do it. And you have to live in a hotel for 3 weeks.
Oh my God. I can't believe we lived in a hotel for 3 weeks.
Which
That
was like,
crazy.
because if there's only one bathroom, you have to move out, right, while they do the bathroom. And we were like, okay, we'll go stay in a hotel. It'll be so fun. Like, and there's a hotel down the street that's like one of those Hiltons that's like all tricked out towards like, oh, it's Camillus. Like, there's a basketball, Syracuse, like, you know, whatever. They don't have a pool, they have a basketball court. Like, somebody was thinking. And so the kids loved it for what, like a day? Like they were like, yay, hotel breakfast. This is going to be so fun. And then like the next day they're like, well, what can we have like real breakfast? When are we going to go back to like regular breakfast? And we're like just keep going, just keep eating.
You're fine. Just have some Cheerios.
Get the
It's fine.
oatmeal.
Don't touch the Fruit Loops though.
Don't,
Oh
oh my God, right?
that sugar burst for them because they're not used to it.
No.
Like we don't do a lot of sugar, and it was just like
No,
fire.
like, our like sugary cereal is like Honey Nut Cheerios. Like it's like woo, like walking on the wild side now.
Oh, do you remember when we told Taylor like Fig Newmans were like cookies?
Yeah, we convinced him for a number of
I
years
didn't
that
even
those
know
were
what a
cookies.
chocolate chip cookie was.
And like they eat like granola that we make ourselves. Like we're like that. We're that family. It's fine. We lived in
Not that
Oregon for a
bad.
while. We learned how to make some really good granola. But yeah, they are home from school now. And that is that wonderful summertime where, do you remember summertime as a kid when it just felt like
I did absolutely nothing.
I felt like the world was my oyster, like infinite possibilities during the summer. And you did absolutely nothing. You're like,
I was just like stuck in a tree because we were in the forest.
I was stuck in a tree.
We're like in the mountain hill.
Let me out of
and,
the tree.
like, my parents were working, or my mom was sleeping because she worked all night. So I had no
Your
one
mom
to
was a
play
night
with, and
nurse.
She was a night nurse. So you know, I did absolutely nothing.
So you not
I
infinite
watched a lot of
possibilities.
TV. Well, I learned a lot about TV and camera work through the lens of sitting on the couch.
Through the Saturday afternoon movie on TBS
Oh
or
my
whatever.
God, this is why I like all those stupid B movies, like maybe C or D movies. But you know, Xanadu was on a lot.
Oh my God.
put it
Got
in
it
there. I
in.
forgot
Got
it.
in. Yeah. Xanadu. I know, which was never on when I was watching, I'll tell you that. Because I never saw it until I met you. But now I know.
Maybe it's because I'm older.
Maybe by one whole year. Do you remember when you used to say to me, when you're my age, you might understand? I'm like, oh, okay, the whole year. Yeah, so there wasn't a summer of infinite possibilities for you. But like for
No.
me, when I was coming out of school, like that last day of school feeling was so great because it meant that I would transition to my neighborhood friends. And we were talking last night about your school friends versus your neighborhood friends, and our kids have both. They have a lot of neighborhood friends now because they kind of got in with like the neighborhood crew.
I had no neighborhood.
That's so sad to me. Like thinking about you in your tree, because your house really was like. I remember when we used to go back to your childhood house when we first were dating. Like it was like a long drive up a big hill, and then even then when you got to like your street, which was just like there's like two houses, then it was like you still had to go like pretty far in. And you guys were at the end of that street in the woods.
In the woods.
Yeah, so it's pretty isolating.
Yeah, there weren't that many kids around. There was like one kid, but like I had to go to the bus stop with him, but we were never like, yeah, let's be friends.
Yeah,
I was just like, you're weird.
Well, that's like, you only have one chance, you know, and then you're just like, oh, cool, we don't really like each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then like mine was like, we're at the beach, so that was cool. So sorry. Now I feel like I don't want to describe mine because like
no, you have to describe it. Describe this wonderful childhood.
Now I feel like I'm bragging. Don't brag, Carrie.
No,
okay, but anyway, we would get out of school and then the summer would start, and all of a sudden we lived in this association where it was 8 blocks. And we lived on a park, like it was called the Green. Like it was just like it was like a park that like didn't really do anything, and you weren't allowed to play sports on it, even though we did anyway. And it was more decorative.
It's like what's the point? It's like a huge patch of grass that they like watered.
It was decorative. It was like supposed to be like the centerpiece of the 8 blocks, and it had a flagpole and like a flagpole garden that we like ruined a million times. But then the beach was just across the street from that. And then up the road was tennis courts and a place called the Casino. Not an actual casino, just a event space that was like kind of like that old colonial.
Like dirty dancing
stuff, yeah. Like with bowling alleys, you know, random.
Duck pin bowling. Not like just regular bowling. Duck pin bowling.
Listen, this is like the Northeast, okay? Like, so that's where we grew up in the summer. And so we would go home. And like basically like this whole other world would sort of activate, and then all these other people would come in because people would like summer in our neighborhood. Like that's where they went on vacation. And I'm like, sorry for you that you were summering, because I mean, like Milford is beautiful, don't get me wrong, but I just also am like, wow, it's kind of wild to think that that's where people like they would come from California, they would come from other places in the Northeast, and that's where they would have their summer like rental vacation.
Crazy.
Right there on Long Island Sound. And we would do tennis lessons in the morning, like so brutally hot, like 9 a.m. tennis lessons. And we would just walk ourselves up to the courts, and we would have tennis lessons with our friends. And then we would have swimming lessons directly after in the Sound. Like I learned how to swim like in the, it's not really like the ocean.
Did they
it's
like just throw you off a raft?
Yeah, the way that we learned how to tread water, this was like more like when we were close to teenage, like we were like middle school, probably like Taylor's age if you think about it. And I had this one swimming instructor. She had one of those round rafts, like, you know, the inflatable round ones. And she was like, come on, like, get on the raft. And we're like, oh, cool. Yeah, let's get on the raft. And then she kind of like paddles us out. And we're like, wow, we're going out far. This is going to be so fun. And she flips the raft over just without telling us, without saying anything.
How did she get it off? Like, how do you flip it? And like, that's crazy.
Just flipped it over. Like, and we were treading water, and she's like, and we're like, we don't really know how to do this. Like, we had learned how to swim like freestyle and whatever, like breaststroke, like enough that obviously this wasn't like totally dangerous. But it was kind of like questionable if you think about it, certainly by today's standards.
She's like, everybody swim out.
Well, it was just sort of like, just swim, like just the treading water, like, and she was doing like the like egg beater, kind of like you're like an egg beater, like the old kind.
So that's Evelyn, she'd be like, what the hell?
What are you talking about? I like a frog, like you're like a little frog because you can move the arms and the legs. But she, that's how we learned how to tread water. And we were like desperate to get back on that raft. We were just like, oh, let us back on the raft. But it was okay.
Wow.
I mean, those are one of those things where I'm just like, wow, when I look back on that now, that was quite a risk to take. I don't know that I would have done that because you'd be like rescuing kids. So that was that. And then after swimming, we would like be on the beach for a while. And most of this, I would say like after age like 7, we kind of did on our own. Like we just, because I was with my best friend, Anne Marie. Right. My sister was with hers. And we just walked. Like it was all so close. You remember? It was like, it's like a 1 block.
Well, there weren't
walk.
as many like unmarked vans going by.
Oh my God.
Well, now it's kind of scary.
This was the 80s though, so yeah. But then we would have to wait. Like, I'm sure the part that we totally annoyed my parents was that all happened like before 10 a.m. So then, or maybe like 11. So we would go home for like, I guess effectively lunch, and then the casino would open.
Did you make your own lunch?
Like when I was older I did, but probably not till like by middle school I was making my own lunch. Like, it was a peanut butter and jelly, it wasn't anything fancy. And then we would go have lunch, wait, probably watch TV, like MTV when we were like, teenagers. And then we would go up to the casino I think it opened at like 3. And we would just do bowling and ping pong and pool and running races and just, like, what an ideal life. And we would do that till 5 o'clock. And then we would go home and have dinner and then like watch TV to the end, and then like rinse, repeat like every day. And then all these new people would come in, and like our friend like Kara came in from New York City, and like there was one friend that came in from like, I don't know, like Nashville or something. And like, we were just always excited to see them. And we would roll around like a little pack doing like hide and seek through the entire neighborhood. Like, we would do hide and seek through other people's yards.
That's crazy.
And that's how safe it was and how much like autonomy we had. Like, cause I can't even I would never, like, Taylor and Evelyn doing hide and seek in other people's yards right now. Like, you would get arrested. Nope. So that was my summer.
Must be really nice.
Sorry. I won't tell you about the events that they had and how we ran our own newspaper and how we.
Also, you guys had like the best 4th of July fireworks.
We like
every year. That's ridiculous.
Laurel Beach.
That was like the first time I went. I was like, "What is this? What is this weird life that you grew up in?"
And I'm like, "What? You didn't have your own fireworks?"
Fantasyland.
It really was. And I realized just how much, because remember, like, we obviously got married on July 3rd. And
happy almost anniversary.
Oh my God, yeah, it's coming up. Wow. It's only in a few days. We got married on July 3rd, and then we were so smart. We had this massive wedding, and then it was July 4th, and we had like a barbecue for everyone, which, don't host your own wedding and then try to do an event the next day. That's not a good idea. But
that was like a blur.
I don't even remember it.
We were just drinking all weekend.
Yeah. And then our friends saw the fireworks display the next day, and they were just like, holy mackerel. Like, just, they've never, like, I saw so many people have the same reaction as you, and I'm just like, wow, yeah, this is really special.
Like, my friend Mel, which, thank you for listening, Mel, like from Queens,
yeah,
like, grew up there and is like coming up to this fantasy land that you grew up in, and it's just like, what are these fireworks?
I know. It was very like idyllic is the word that always comes to mind. Like that, it was a great childhood there. It's an incredible like place of privilege to have all those things just at your disposal, and it made it like so easy to be independent. Like right now we're working on independence with the kids because there's so much oversight that we have, right? But I just think about how we were able to just run rampant over this entire neighborhood and do whatever we wanted.
I want to get them Apple Watches.
Yeah, I know. I think that independence comes with a trade-off now. Like the safety part is big. Like we had a dude that was like looking in cars at 2 a.m. the other night, it's on somebody's Ring camera.
Yeah, and this is like a nice neighborhood.
Right, and it just sucks because it bursts your bubble of safety. But you have to be, careful wherever you are. Yeah. Like there were break-ins in Laurel Beach too. It wasn't totally devoid of that. But I think that the kids, at least now, and I love the idea of an Apple Watch so that you can track them, know exactly where they are.
A form of communication, right?
Right. But it's also sad in a way because it's like they can't just go that whole like, be home by dinner, and then they're just off on their bikes and whatever. It's like that's just not really the way the world works anymore.
No, but I don't feel like we're that far off with Evelyn. Taylor, I feel like, just wants to be home.
He's like one of those kids who wants to just be home.
Yeah.
But he also needs his, he loves to be social, but he needs his alone time, too. Yeah. So, he really values that, even when there's a massive play date going on yesterday that God. Instigated.
He wanted.
He's like, I need a break, and is over there on his games for a little while. And I'm like, I get it, that brain needs a break, but I was like, dude, this has been like an hour and your friend is down in the basement and you're up here, and I'm like, and you need to be with him.
This is though, it entertained Evelyn. Evelyn was playing with both boys and just playing whatever water guns outside. Which he doesn't like playing with water guns. So.
He does not, no, because
He doesn't like the water games.
the refilling and the putting together and the trigger is just not his favorite, that whole process.
It's hard.
But I also really loved watching Evelyn boss around two boys and be like, Zeke, you need to go inside. Why? You need to go over here. I'm just like, leadership skills. And now I'm going to cough like a lot for a second because I have allergies really bad.
Should I make fun of you like you made fun of me going to get a tissue because I'm running nose?
Yes, you can make fun of me all you want while I'm coughing profusely. Okay.
I'm tired.
Oh my God, it's tickling.
Oh my God, can we talk about The Bear?
Oh, it's so good.
So good.
Why is The Bear the greatest show on television?
No, it's just so beautiful and it's so real. They really just capture and have created these characters that everyone can relate to at some point.
Like, even if you're not in food service, you can relate to it. But if you were in food service in any way, you're like,
God.
oh my God, this is
Like,
so
I'm
true.
Like there.
Like, the
Hot
Maddie
palpitations.
Matheson character, like, he's not even in it as much right now, but like his little blips, I'm just like, there is always that guy. Like, that guy exists in every restaurant. And I actually was thinking about it this morning that the plot line, I don't know how many spoiler alerts we're giving away here, but like that things weren't resolved between Carmy and Claire. Like that, it would be too easy if that was like all of a sudden just like.
We're only in like the third episode too.
Exactly.
So,
yeah. Like,
you know.
I like that Christopher Storer.
Fish line and a carrot.
Yeah, they hold that tension really well. That's like, it's not gonna be easy. Like, we're not just gonna give this to you. You have to work for it, kind of thing. And the mom, Jamie Lee Curtis.
She's gonna come in at some point. We just know. I mean, they preview it in the trailers, so I feel like that's not.
Well, she's in it. Like, we're in episode 3, and she's the real estate broker for the
Oh,
house.
she was a real estate. Oh,
yes, I'm like, she's already in it, Janny.
Oh.
God, how much do I love Jamie Lee Curtis too? Just what a phenomenal person.
She's so awesome. I feel like she's just herself now, and she's just like, I'm gonna just throw myself into these characters.
I think she's just paving the way for older actors who are women, like that are just like, it's really funny. When I was teaching one of my classes, I made a point to say actors, not actresses, because the tresses part is just very this like infantilizing like women thing that we've done.
I feel like I heard you say actress and I was surprised one day because I always say actors.
Sometimes I do it by mistake, like because I've been like my whole life we've been trained to say like actresses, so I say actors, and it was so confusing for some of the students. They're like, who are you talking about? And I'm like, I'm talking about the women, and I'm purposely saying actors because that is the job. That it's not like we don't need like a feminine S. We just need actors. So in any case, she's one of the greatest actors that's making it possible for older women to have jobs.
I know, and she's not just playing like a grandma sitting in an old chair.
Yeah.
She's playing like real stories.
Yeah.
Like this alcoholic older mom.
Dynamic characters, like she said that she's been waiting her whole life for that Donna character in The Bear. My brain just went out the window with the birds that are chirping. It's been an ADHD week, man. My brain has been like,
because we're in this weird schedule because like we work from home and we create our own schedules right now.
Mm-hmm.
Not until the semester starts, right? Like we have to create some kind of schedule or at least to-do list so we know what we're doing every day. But like not having to wake up, and for the kids now, that like is another wrench in the schedule.
That's what it is. Thank you. Is that the routine is off?
Routine is off.
Oh man, because
routine.
I love a routine. I want to set the routine. Like I feel very like comforted by the routine, and then my brain immediately wants to blow up the routine. Like that's how it goes. That is how neurodivergence works for me. And so now when the routine is sort of taken away from me, my brain's like, hey, wait, what? I want it back.
I know, I do too. It's weird. I feel weird in this moment of life that we're in, this stage of life that we're in right now. It feels weird.
Well, we talk about it a lot, and we've actually talked about it with some friends, and we see it online a lot that Gen X, our generation, is in the like, what's it all for era.
Existential
crisis, or just like,
it's not crisis though.
I
don't feel like
and
I'm
that
going
midlife
downhill.
crisis
It's
is
more of like
not real.
No, it's more of like, what am I doing? What do I want to do? And like, lucky for us, again, a privilege to be able to sit and think about what we actually want to do for a living, right? Like, such a privilege.
And to be able to choose.
I know, and I almost feel guilty about it, right? Because my parents worked so hard as immigrants, right? They moved here. My mom was a night nurse working, and she didn't have to. My dad was a biochemist at Merck. So they just kept working as hard as possible. She was also a real estate agent sometimes. And then she was also renovating and basically a landlord because they bought property and were renting it out. It's crazy. I don't know.
Didn't they own a Chinese restaurant
They
as
had
well?
a Chinese restaurant at one point. I know. They did so many different things and they worked really hard. And now I just feel guilty that I'm not. But like, that was the whole purpose, right? They worked hard so I didn't have to, sort of, I guess. Like, but I will always work hard because that's just in me.
And then when you call her, your mom's like, what are you doing? Nothing? You're just
Every
sitting
single
around?
time. I'm like, no, I'm working in front of a computer. We go visit them, and like usually I'm doing work at some point during the week, and I'm at the dining table because that's the best place for me to sit, sort of. And she's just like, "What are you doing? Nothing? Playing games?" I'm like, "No, I am designing on a computer because that's where I design."
And you even show her the work, and she still doesn't believe it.
It was like a whole, like I was coding. I happened to be coding that day, and I had like a bunch of code that she just wouldn't understand, but like. She looked at it, she's like, meh.
Okay. I know, but I think like, so I don't know if it's just when you reach almost 50. I wonder if that's like, because that's where we are.
I know, weird, right?
You're knocking on 50's door, right? And then you're just like, so we've worked how long? Like 20 plus years now?
20 plus years.
So if you think about like graduating college, right? That I think a lot of people that we know and that we see online are looking back and being like, was it all worth it? Like, and did I do what I wanted to do, or did I do what I thought I had to do? And I see a lot of people online that are like, I just spent 20 years like working in corporate and it wasn't what I wanted it to be. And I'm just like, God, that sucks, you know? Like I want everything that I do to have meaning, ideally. Like, and I'm realistic that not every single thing is going to be like, you know, the greatest thing since sliced bread, and that's fine. But it's like, I want to be, since COVID, since stopping drinking, I feel like I've challenged myself and made like promises to myself that everything that I'm going to do is going to be with intention and like on purpose, and not like, I'm certainly not doing things because I'm like, oh, I'm going to do it for the money, you know, because you know.
You never do. You always made me say goodbye to money.
I never, like, and luckily it's worked out so far.
Luckily.
But I work hard.
don't even know how sometimes. I swear somebody's watching over us and like, oh, well, like, let's give them this project.
I still believe, and maybe it's the, like, boomer mentality in me, but I believe that if you work hard and you put your head down and you keep working hard and you show people what you can do, then you will be rewarded at some point. And lucky for me, a privileged white woman, that is what's happened to me. But I also feel like I'm constantly thinking about where I can add value. Like, where can I come in and fill a void, fill a gap? Like, if somebody needs something, can I do that? And I think that the trying to be like, I used to think of it as being indispensable, which I think is a little bit not what I want to do anymore, because that's like almost like you have to people please and give a lot of yourself, and that sometimes isn't productive. But like, how can I add value? Like, can I bring something to the table that someone else couldn't? Like, can I think of it in a creative way that other people might not? And I just that to me feels really comfortable, and I feel like I'm good at it. But the things that we're doing right now, the different creative projects that we're taking on, I'm just like, I didn't think that I'd be teaching like an AI workshop with you in a library to people who haven't used AI before.
I know, but it's
and
fun.
Stuff like that. But that's really fun. I didn't think I'd be an AI researcher on a team that I love, and I just want to talk about AI all day, every day with, you know. And then I come over here and I talk about it too. And
robots.
I just want to. And then I spent a whole lot of time yesterday painting, which is just like a dream, you know, that's even possible. And I started researching how to sell your paintings on Etsy, because I'm just like, if I'm going to make things happen, like, why not? Like, why? You know, I see stuff on Etsy and I'm just like, okay, like I could do, I'm not trying to be competitive, but I'm like, I could do comparable to that, right? I can do something that somebody might want to buy. So why not believe in myself and just do it rather than sit around and worry about it instead? The end.
I agree. I know. I have to say, like, I feel lucky because I look back at our careers and I'm like, well, we had pretty awesome careers.
We really did.
Like, we got to do what we wanted to do, and we have so many fun stories. And here comes somebody.
Would you like to be a special guest? Yay!
Say hi.
Hello. Hello. Oh, and you're so snuggly in your sweatshirt today. Yes. What are you doing in the game room? Garage.
You have to talk about it. If you're going to be on the podcast, you got to talk.
What are you watching? Yeah.
What's the name of it?
Okay.
Oh, that sounds like a great name.
Yeah.
Yeah? Cool.
Okay. We love you.
Hungry.
You're hungry?
You're hungry?
Go, you can go pick what you would like out of the snack
It's the summer of get your own snacks.
Yeah!
Woo!
Go, Evelyn, you can do it. We have a snack drawer
Snack drawer.
that has it's just a drawer that you probably would put like pots and pans in.
Yes.
Right?
Correct.
And it just has massive amounts of snacks in it instead.
I know. Do you think it'll be there forever?
And we have a pantry with Pringles,
Oh.
which Evelyn has been calling crinkles, which I just think is very cute.
Maybe it's a new product that she'll invent one day.
Crinkles. But
So, anyway,
yes, back to life.
we had very lucky careers.
We really did, because so you think about it, it was you had a bunch of careers before Food Network in a way, or a bunch of jobs at least
I
in
know,
the same career.
really high profile, like, businesses, right?
Yeah, like Sony, Brides, like you worked in the Condé Nast building. You
That was
had
awesome.
you
I
had your
got to eat in
Devil Wears Prada.
I got to eat in the Frank Gehry, like, cafeteria. That was pretty ideal. That was
I
awesome.
remember when that opened, people in New York City lost their mind. Like, have you been to the Condé Nast Frank Gehry
It's still a
cafeteria?
cafeteria.
I'm just like, do I still have to stand in line with my tray?
It was
Like-
so fancy though. They'd have like a sushi counter where
Yes.
like they just make sushi right there in the counter.
I've never been, but I heard about it.
Did that for 2 years.
You know, and then you landed at Food Network and you met me. But also, so then we did Food Network for a while together. Then we did the Oregon businesses together. We did Little Green Pickle, PR agency. We founded a food festival. Feast Portland, when I tell people about Feast, they always lose their mind about it. Like, they always are just like, what? Like, you did what? And I'm like, yeah, I know. It's like really weird. I was telling somebody, I'm like, it's a really strange thing. But we owned a food festival. And they're just like, how? I'm like, I don't know. We just started it. We just started it and did it. And that's what happened.
That's crazy.
And then now we're teachers. And now we're at SU and teaching. And it's like, that's just really, to me, that feels like the exact right progression for my career. I think yours has taken a little bit of a detour into teaching that you weren't expecting, but
no, it was not expecting to be teaching.
no, but you're so good at it, and you have been teaching forever. Because what I think the reason that we make good instructors is that we could not afford to hire really senior level people. So everyone who came to us at LGP was right out of school.
training.
Yeah, so we were kind of doing the same thing at LGP that we are doing now, and taking people who are like 21 and teaching them like, okay, so like you learn these skills and now here's how you apply them. So it's the same.
I feel good because like our employees stayed with us the highest 9 years.
Yeah.
Others like 4 to 5 years, 8 years.
We must have had some kind of compelling vision going.
Well, we kept it fun. We kept it flexible. People would actually work, like, they wouldn't have back-breaking hours, I don't think.
At first, we
Except
definitely
during
did.
feast.
At first, we did. But I think we got better. I think we got better at managing and
Well, and talking to our employees,
listening
our
to them.
coworkers.
I remember when they came to us and they were like, "Hey, there's so much food. We need a gym, like, stipend."
Yeah.
And I'm
I was
like,
great.
"Oh, that's actually fairly easy for us to do, you know." And like reimbursing people for like their phone usage, like that, you know, it's like things shift as a business owner, and you have to say like, okay, that makes sense. There were some things where we were like, no, we can't do that, you know, and that's fine. But when I look back on that, I'm like, man, that was imperfect because we were running and gunning the entire time, like
I don't even know what we were doing.
building the train as it was leaving the station and trying to hold on for dear life, you know. But it was fun.
Was fun.
That's the main thing.
It was so much work. We were constantly working 24/7,
Yeah.
but we loved it.
Until we weren't, and that was like the really weird part about
That's
COVID
weird.
was like all of a sudden it came to a screeching halt.
You know, when we first moved here, like I almost feel like I wanted to recapture it. I wanted to build it again somewhere else. And then I think I've, last week come to the realization that I don't want to do it anymore. I want to help in different ways, but I don't want to own it. I want other people to have the dream.
You don't want to own a large scale event again?
No.
I'm just like, maybe once was enough.
It's
too.
not even like, I mean, mentally I could do it. It's just my back can't. I'm old people.
Old. This is an old person's podcast.
Old person's my back hurts, and like realistically, physically, I don't think my body can handle it anymore.
I totally agree with that. And it's like you start to realize why like food service and events tend to be a young person's game, because you need to be able to weather that over and over and over again. I mean, I remember being flattened by Feast. Like just the next day when it was finally over, like that Monday, just not being able to get out of bed for like a 24-hour period. And also too with kids, like that's just not really possible anymore.
We'd have to wake up at like 7 a.m. no matter what.
Yeah.
Or 3 a.m., whatever time that they wake up.
Oh my God. Or 2 a.m. when your daughter comes in and just taps your hand lightly, is standing beside your bed like a horror movie. And I'm just like, oh, it's you. Okay, good. And it's like, you feel like you're getting pulled from the darkness of your dreams into reality again. And it's just like, and then you have to go and be like, it's okay, you had a nightmare, like, let's go back to bed. And then you're laying there, she falls asleep immediately, and you're just like.
Were you able to go back to sleep?
Yeah, I was eventually, but it took a little bit. But she was very sweet about it. She was like, I'm sorry to wake you up, but I had a bad nightmare. And you're just like, oh my God. But yeah, like that
I just want to know what those nightmares are, and she won't tell us.
Both of them have some pretty active subconscious right now, but yeah, so that's not possible to flatten yourself out with event work, and then have to do that. I mean, people do it, and amazing.
I just don't want to put them through like coming with us everywhere.
Yes, which we
did.
did
Do things
back then.
We did back then. Taylor was like at interviews. I was circling with Taylor in a stroller while you were doing interviews inside a festival.
2 weeks after he came out of my body.
Yeah, that was
insane. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Take your maternity leave. Like we were small business owners. Like we didn't really have a choice. We didn't have a maternity leave plan set up in our business, and I didn't want one because I was a psychopath. And I was like, I wanted to be able to, I remember telling the doctor, I'm like, I will give birth to this child and I will go work the festival. And she's like, I understand that. And what you're going to do is you're going to take Tylenol and Advil, and you're going to limit your caffeine and your alcohol. And she's just like, and I was like, you're the greatest doctor ever. Like that is a wonderful, realistic, view. And I'm also like, somebody though should have probably said to me, like, don't, you shouldn't.
Probably
a lot of people did, and I didn't listen anyway. But the reason that you were circling was because I was still breastfeeding this very new baby, and we had to make it happen. And
I was like plugging it in the car, turning it. I was like, how does this plug work? So ridiculous.
But yeah, you do what you have to do. And then luckily with Evelyn, we learned and took a real maternity leave, and that was
sort
better.
of.
Well, and then we kind of
went back to Seattle.
Sucked back in early, to take your full 3 months and don't get sucked back in 2.5 months in.
Well, it's hard. You own your own companies, and it's like you can't just take a maternity leave. It's impossible.
It's very hard.
I didn't want to do it without you. I couldn't do it without you.
And I also, it's not that I got bored, because there's always something to do, and there's a baby that needs to like eat or sleep every 15 minutes, but the monotony of those days is real. And I think that that's something that parents don't talk about, is like, it's okay if you get bored. Like, not that you're like bored, like, oh, I don't have anything to do, but the routine, it feels like Groundhog Day over and over and over again. And that is something where all of a sudden you're like, maybe work. Like, what if I just looked at email real quick? And it's like, no, don't do that. Try to stay focused.
What if you had done art during that time?
Oh my God, I know.
That would have been cool.
It would have been cool because it would have been very like visceral and subconscious, because my brain was like so fried.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I would have had the wherewithal to even try to like get up for that, Like maybe if it was all set up in front of me and I was just like, because now I was telling you last night, like what I've realized about the way that I would like to paint is I want to paint like super detailed, and I've never allowed myself to do that before. I always thought it should be like very abstract, very like big and almost like fast, and I never allowed myself like the time to really like I'm painting a roof of a car wash right now, and I am like taking time for every single little shingle, and I just didn't understand that that could be pleasurable, like that could be something that I wanted to do that made me feel good. Like I would have thought that that would be annoying and I would get annoyed by it. And I think that the way that I've trained my brain now is like the release is in the process, not the finish.
Well, and once you are finished, it's so satisfying.
And yeah, because it gratifies me on a level that I can't describe even, because I'm just like, and it's like a roof of a car wash. And I'm just like, but Jenny, look at this roof. You know, I'm really excited about it.
But like, I mean, you know, like when I'm doing the Brooklyn Bridge and I'm doing each and every little brick,
yeah,
it's satisfying. It's super fun.
I you know, and do you know what really taught me this? Coloring books. I swear to God. And it's so silly, because you're like, oh, good, like adult white lady coloring books, like good, yep, like right on point there. But it's like the act of color. So these coloring books come with like the mandalas, you know, like the really big circles, and they've got like tons of little things in them. And I actually started doing a coloring books app online when I was in grad school, because it was the only thing that would like calm my brain out of like grad school crazy deadlines, papers, like whatever. And I would just color these, and you just tap it and it fills in the colors, you know. But it taught me that I miss a lot of spots because my ADHD like goes all over the place, and it taught me how to focus. And then when I do the physical ones, it's like that's the only time that my brain rests. Like in doing that, there's rest up here. And I just didn't understand that that was even possible. And now when I translate that to like actual art on a canvas, it's like a mind-blowing experience. And I the only other thing that I do where I get that feeling is running. Like every step is like a release. It's like a vacation in my brain.
Just enjoying you. You just realized that you were talking the whole time?
Yes, and you know what is a wonderful gift is active listening. It just really is a wonderful gift when somebody just lets you go and just info dump them on things that you care about. So,
I mean, I won't lie. There was like one moment where I was like thinking about something else, but it came back.
I did see you go and come back.
Isn't that crazy? We've been together so long that you can see that happen in my face.
I did, and I always take it as a sign to wrap it up.
I know, well, my tea is done, so.
Yeah, my coffee's almost done too. So does that, are you going to like wrap up the podcast too?
I'm tired.
You're tired. What are you going to do now?
I don't know. Well, I have to edit this stuff, and then, you know, I'm going to do some art.
Yeah. Speaking of art, let's go do some art.
I've got my pieces that have been drying, so I'm ready for the next layer. Play around.
It was really sweet to see the kids. I told you this last night. The kids all came downstairs, and I was still painting with headphones on. Like that's when you know that it was like focused flow time, right? And I was just like, they could do whatever. They were like tearing the place apart behind me, and I was still able to do it. But they kept coming up to your painting and being like, did you paint that? Who painted that? How did you do that? How did she do that? Is that, I'm like, no, Janny painted it. Are you Janny? No, I'm not Janny.
Neurodivergent kids.
But they were just so excited to see art. It was really sweet to be like, how does this happen? This magical thing.
Let's go do it.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.